Good morning, my dear students in grade 3. How are you today? I hope you are fine. Our lesson today is our World 2, Module 8. Open your students' book page 101 and 100 and your workbook page 97 and 98.
رؤية المدرسة إعداد فتيات متعلمات مبدعات قادرات على بناء مجتمع واع متحضر محافظة على أخلاقه وقيمه ومستخدمة للتكنولوجيا الحديثة. رؤية المدرسة.
The school vision, to prepare creative, well-educated students who are able to establish civilized, aware, reserved society, stick to the authentic morals and values, in addition to using the modern technology.
Objectives of our lesson today to identify the use of the past simple of verb be, was, wasn't, were, and weren't. To form questions using the past simple of verb be. Ask and answer questions using the past simple of verb be. Let's get started. Now, look at the picture carefully for 30 seconds. Look at what is on the table and what is on the chair, what is under the table. Look at the window too. Now look, there were flowers on the table. True or false? Perfect, true. There was a newspaper on the table. False, there was a newspaper on the chair. There was an open window. Perfect, that's true. There was a cat under the table. Excellent. True. There was a cup of coffee on the table. That's true. Look at this picture. There was a boat on the lake. We use there was for singular nouns when there is just one thing. There were 3 boats on the lake. When there are more than one, we use the plural. There were. There were 3 boats on the lake. Can you form a sentence now? Perfect. There was or there were a car. Excellent. There was one car. Look at these cars. What will you say? There was or there were cars. Perfect. There were 3 cars. Now let's look at the negative form. There wasn't a cup on the table. There wasn't. There weren't boats on the lake. There weren't. We use wasn't for plural for singular nouns and we use weren't for plural nouns. Here is a cup. It's a singular noun, just one cup. So we use wasn't. And here boat. Boats is a plural noun, so we use weren't. There weren't boats on the lake. Look at this picture. What can you see? Perfect. There was a book on the table. Now look here. There wasn't a book on the table. Now can you form some sentences? Look here, look at this picture. What can you see? Perfect. There were or there was birds in the tree. Excellent. There were birds in the tree. Now look here. Look at this picture. There was or there wasn't or there weren't birds in the tree. There weren't birds in the tree. Now let's recall yesterday's lesson. Open your student's book, page 100. The competition. How many boats were there? How many boats were there? Yesterday morning, there was a sailing boat competition at the town's lake. It was sunny and windy. The weather was great for sailing. There weren't only 10 boats on the lake, there were 20 boats. But they weren't big boats, they were small boats. There were 20 small boats on the lake. There were 20 small boats on the lake for the competition. There wasn't one winner, but 3 winners. It was a lot of fun. Let's go sailing next week. So let's see how many boats were there. Let's find the answer. There weren't only 10 boats, there were 20 boats. How many winners were there? How many winners were there? Here we use were because the word winners is a plural noun. Let's see how many winners. There wasn't one winner, but 3 winners. Now, student's book 101. Look at the grammar box. There was a small boat. There wasn't a big boat. There were 2 winners. There weren't 3 winners. Let's practice. Look, read, and choose. There are animals in the zoo. Look, there are many animals. So what will you say? Was or were? Animals. Animals. It's a plural noun. So I will use perfect. Where? There are students in the class. Look at the word students. Is it plural or singular? Perfect. It's a plural noun. So what will the answer be? Weren't. Perfect. Look, there a rabbit in the street. There a rabbit in the street. Look, oh, it's a cat. So wasn't or weren't? There wasn't. Perfect, because it's a singular noun. Now look, can you make a sentence? What will you say here? There was a cake on the table. Perfect, because it's just one cake, so we will say there was. If we have more than one, we will say there were cakes. But here, there is only one cake, so what will you say? There was a cake on the table. There are children in the park. There are children in the park. Wasn't or weren't? Perfect. Weren't. Why? There is no S here in the word children. There is no S. Is it plural or singular? Oh, the singular, it's an irregular plural. The singular of the word children is a child. A child. Children is an irregular plural. It will be there weren't. Now let's practice. Open your workbook. Page 98. Activity 3. Now stop the video and answer the questions. Look at number 1. It's done. There were 2 boats on the lake. There were 2 boats. Look here. Look at the picture. 3 children in the park. 3 children in the park. There were, there was, there wasn't, there weren't. Stop the video and answer the questions. Then come back to check your answers. Number 2. There weren't 3 children in the park. Number 3. There was an apple in the fridge. Number 4. There wasn't a cat at the playground. Now, go back to your student's book. Let's page 101. Let's do activity 4. Let's listen. Are you ready? Listen and circle A or B.
4. Listen and circle A or B. 1.
Yesterday, there was a sailing boat competition on TV. It wasn't a big competition. There were 5 small boats on the lake.
2.
Where were you yesterday, Bob?
I was at a sports competition. There wasn't one winner. There were 2 winners.
3.
Where were you yesterday, Tom?
I was at the pet shop. There were 2 cats.
It's a time to speak. There were 2 cats and 3 birds. Which one? It's B. Let's check our answers for the listening. There were 5 small boats. The answer is picture A. Number 2. There were 2 winners. There wasn't one winner. There were 2 winners. It's picture A. Number 3. At the pet shop, there were 2 cats and 3 birds. It's picture B. Now look at these 2 girls. What can you see? What are they doing? They are talking together. They are playing a guessing game about activity 4. Look at activity 4 and say, there weren't 10 boats, there were 5 boats. Here, there wasn't one winner, there were 2 winners. Here, there weren't 2 cats, there were 3 cats. There weren't 3 birds, there were 2 birds, and so on. Look at the picture. There a rabbit in the garden. There was or there were? Perfect. There was, because a rabbit is a singular noun, just one rabbit. So we will say there was a rabbit. There are strawberries on the plate. There was or there were? Look at the noun. Strawberries. Strawberries is a plural noun, so we will say there were strawberries on the plate. Wasn't or weren't? There wasn't or weren't a book on the table. There wasn't, because a book is a singular noun, just one book. Thank you and goodbye, my lovely students.